Hello students, very good afternoon to you. Today we are going to discuss about the working of the constitution. So welcome to the first chapter of political science in 10th Maharashtra State Board. In this chapter we are going to study that how a government is working, what are the different features of our constitution and what are the different laws that are made by our constitution, and how our constitution ensure social justice, how we are getting social justice in our country, how we are having democracy in our country, and what is the role of judiciary. Judiciary means it is a court, we can say. And with all these things we are going to study in this working of the constitution. So let us start about working of the constitution. The textbook of political science till now we have help us to take an overview of local government. Local government means it is the panchayat or municipality that is working in government, that is called local government. The values and the philosophy of the Indian constitution as also the governing structures created the constitution and India's place in international relationship. So what are the different constitution, what are the different structure we are having in the constitution, and what are the place that we are referring to the international relation, that India should have the equal values, they should have a secularism in a country, that every religion or every caste has the opportunity of freedom of speech, and they should live in country, so there should be no partiality between the people, and this all things have done in the constitution. The Indian constitution has declared its objective earlier as a secular democratic republic. So what do you mean by secular? Secular means that all religion in a country are treated as equally, means there should be no partiality between the religion also. Every religion has a secular, they can live in country, whether it is Muslim, whether it is Hindu, Christian, Sikh, whatever. Our country is a secularism. Democratic republic means the president is elected by the people. Like India is having a president, but that president is elected by the people, so India will be called as a democratic republic. Or you take the example of Britain is having a queen. Queen is not elected by the people, but they can that is a hierarchy means after queen his son will come, after that his son will come, so that is the Britain's queen's different types of republic they are having. So that country will not called as a republic, but that country is having a democracy, but we cannot say that is a republic, but our India is a democratic republic. Also, it has made extremely important provision to ensure that the citizen get justice and the freedom is protected. In this, if the person has did or has done something wrong, that person should be punished by the constitution. That is, a provision is written in the constitution that the person has did something wrong, only that person can be punished or that person can be sent to the jail. But if the person has not did something wrong, so that person can get a justice from the government of the constitution, so that person can get a freedom to protect it from the government. The Indian constitution is seen as the means through which a progressive developed society based on social justice and equality will be established. As the government is also giving social justice to everyone. Social justice means it is a society's justice, what the people are getting from the government. Equality means if government should treat it with people equally, there should be no inequality between the people, so there should be something freedom of people should be in equality from the constitution. The constitution came into force on 26 January 1950. As you all know that constitution came in 1950, 26 January. So our constitution came into act in 1950. And since then government has been working in accordance with the principle of the constitution. So from that only the principle came out, and from that 26 January 1950 the government is also working with some of the good principle or to get some developed in the constitution amendment. In this chapter we will take a brief overview of the wide-ranging nature of Indian democracy, that how the people are coming together, how they are forming the unity of the democracy, and how that they are changing their constitution. Important changes have taken place in this political process and steps that have been taken to establish social justice. So people have, or the government have taken some of the good steps to establish social justice among the people, that people should get the equal rights to live in a country or freedom of speech that they feel, and that should be the equality among the people. So now in this lesson we will discuss the three primarily focus of that area. First is democracy, second is social justice, and third is judicial system. Let us discuss first democracy. In democracy, we'll see political maturity. Political maturity means the people who are mature can think about the government, that who is the better government and who is the person we are giving vote. Now, if there is a representative means it is a government person or the a legislative or member of the parliament. But we cannot go directly to the government or in the constitution or in the parliament to fight against the corruption. But we are having our representative in an area. So it is a political maturity. Now, democracy does not merely imply a representative structure. The essence of representative system is to integrate the principle of democracy in actual practice. So, a common people is electing a representative on behalf to work in the parliament. See, we directly can't go to the parliament and we can say, sir, we are having this problem in an area. But if we are having a representative who are acting in an area like MLA or so, he will go in the parliament and he will solve our problem, that whatever we are facing in a country. So the representative will act on behalf of us in the parliament to get work done. Once this is done, democracy becomes an integral part of the political life of the society. So the integral part of the society, if the representative is there, so he will tackle the society of the people. So that becomes the integral part of the society. Accordingly, the Indian people have direct representation in the parliament. So people are also having the direct representation of the people who are going in the parliament and they are solving the problems on behalf of the common people. State legislature means like Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. So these are the two legislature. It is in Maharashtra. Maharashtra is also having the Vidhan Sabha and Vidhan Parishad. And local government as I've already told you, Panchayat, the municipality, Sarpanch. So these are the local government who are working in their area. Holding free and fair election at a regular interval is an important indicator of Indian successful democracy. Holding free means every person has a right to vote any political party. Or fair election means there should be no malpractices during the election. So we are having holding free and fair election at a regular interval. So as you all know that election comes after 5 years. The increasing participation of the people in the political process and political competition shows that Indian democracy has become successful to a great extent. So students, in this information, that the political party should have the competition. If the competition is there between the party, then only the government can form a good democracy towards the India. If the political party is working in towards the people or they are showing benefit to the people, so there should be questions among the government that this government party is having a more thinking or more benefits from the people side. So the competition should be healthy, or the competition should be there among two parties, and that two parties is also having a good response to the people. So we should have a healthy and competition between the Indian democracy. Next is right to vote. The Indian Constitution had made the provision of right to vote for adults. So as you all know, when we are voting in during the election, we should have a specific age. A specific age means we should have a 18 above. Then only we can have a right to vote for the voting in during the elections. So that is also the Constitution has written about the provisions about the adult, or whether male or female above the 18 only they can vote. In the pre-independence period, several provisions exist which restricted the right to vote. So before the independence, there was several provision was changed, but when we got the independence, there was some information written in the Constitution about the right to vote. All such provision were cancelled after independence. So the provision which was written before the independence, that provision was cancelled, and the Indian Constitution guaranteed adult suffrage by giving the right to vote equally to both men and women above the age of 21 years. So as I've said you that above the 21 years, that was before the independence, they were having the age of 21 years, whether it is men or women, they should complete the 21, then only they can vote in the election. But when Rajiv Gandhi was there as a prime minister of India, at that time the people used to have the age of 21, But there was some changes taken in the constitution that above the 18 or at the age of 18 the person can become an adult, or he or she can vote in the elections. The voting age was later reduced from 21 to 18, which gave opportunity of political participation to the young generation in India. So the person who has completed, or the age was reduced from 21 to 18, but the people who are young generation, they can think about the political participation, or they can think कि yeah, we want to become a political leader in the political party. So they उनका changes होने लगा और वो सोचने लगे कि we can also participate in the political party or political government. Such provision have made India the largest democracy in the. So India is the largest democracy who is having large number of voters in the country. So this changes is not only quantitative but also qualitative, as new political parties are emerging with the active support of young voters. So people who are active, or who are people, or the people who are young voters can also become a political support of that party, whether it is not a quantitative, but the person who is having a qualitative, or the person who is, the government is asking a question, or the person is asking to the government about the benefits, that party or that young party can support to the political parties. These parties represent various expectations of people and compete in the political sphere. The person is also having the expectation through the representative who becoming a party of the national or the political parties, or who is making a government. So they are having expectations. For the example, in your area, the person who are there in the political party, you are expecting something from that party. Why? Because you have voted that person, so your expectations becomes more from that person. Next is decentralization of democracy. Decentralization means the power should be distributed to everyone. The power should not be in one hand. The power should be distributed to all the people. Like when in olden times, people were used to have the power of national, state and union government. But as the democracy changed, as the constitution has been changed, the power is distributed among all the people, like local governments, like municipality, nagar parishad, corporators. So these people were also having the different power to take the decision in the country. Decentralization of power is central to democratic government. So this power was also having, this power means the decentralization were having the power in the central government. Decentralization control the misuse of power and also create opportunities for political. So the decentralization, the power should not be in one hand. The power should be distributed. If the power should be in one hand, there should be misuse of power. वो गलत कर सकता है. So the power should be distributed to all the people. Participation for the common people. So the common people can also participate in the decentralization. The directive principle of the state policy include the provision for the democratic decentralization. The directive principle is also came in a democratic decentralization. One such important provision is regarding empowering local self-government, make genuine democratic governance a reality. So the local government or the self-government can also have a power to interact with the governments. Several attempts after independence, several attempts were made towards democratic decentralization. So after independence, several attempts were made to change in the democratic decentralization. So उसके बाद powers हर लोगों को मिलने लगे. Even the common people were also getting the power to take the decision. One such important attempt is the 73rd and 74th amendment to Indian Constitution. So amendment means it is the change. Some of the changes took place in the constitutions and in the form of 73rd and 74th Constitution of Indian. So amendment means it is a changes which gave a constitutional status to local self-governing institution and also increase their power. So even the local governor or the local government is also getting the power to take the decisions in their area.